everyone, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some Scandinavian inspired Christmas decor. I'll be going mostly just through the macrame on the cinnamon sticks and the clear jars with the different plants in there, so follow along. So for each of these, I found these little jars at Dollarama actually, but you could find them on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. These ones have a nice little cork lid you can just pop in and out. I just went to the backyard and grabbed some little tree branches and dead leaves, and then I also used cinnamon sticks just to fill all of the different jars that I had. You can use things like berries, or even if you want to save like dandelion seeds, or just really anything. It could look really pretty on the tree. And then I just closed them up and tied some twine on long enough so that it would wrap around the branches. Alright, so here you want to start with some cinnamon sticks. You can find them on Amazon, or you can just get them in a grocery store, and then you want to get some 3mm macrame cord. You can use any size, but 3mm works best just because you don't want it to be too thick. For length, you want it to be about 2.5 to 3 times the length that you want the finished macrame to be. I did about 3 times, and then you just want to cut 4 cords that are the same length for each cinnamon stick. So I had 5 total, so 5 times 4 is 20, so you cut 20 strings of the same size, or however many you are planning on making. So you will start off with your first knot being the lark's head or reverse lark's head knot. Just to attach the macrame cord to the cinnamon stick, you want to make sure that you don't pull the knot too tight because it can crack the cinnamon sticks. That did happen to me a couple times, but otherwise you want to make sure that it is tight enough that they don't move. At the very end of it, I did end up tightening them towards the end before I started putting the knots in. Also, it totally depends on how you like the look. I like the edge of the knot, as you can see on the front, and I like the crack in the stick to be showing at the front. So however you want it, I twisted them towards the end. You can see here I'm gonna start to move it just because I like how it looks a little bit better with that in the front. Alright, so here you are going to do, once it is all tight, you're going to do a square knot right in the middle. So you have 8 strings coming down. You want to take the middle 4 and use them to do a square knot. So I did link a couple videos in my blog post just on starter macrame knots. You want to make sure that you know these before you start actually making your macrame piece. And then here you are going to do a diagonal half hitch knot. So this one is a little bit more difficult. This one took me a really long time to master, which seems kind of silly, but it was kind of hard to just get it in a diagonal line. I've made macrame before, so that now it's easy for me, but I suggest that you practice a little bit before making something small like this. And the video is a little bit blurry. I apologize for that. I wasn't able to refilm, so it just made it go a little bit faster. But here you can see I'm using the edge piece to do the diagonal half hitch just to the middle string, and then you will see here that I am going to start in a second row. So I apologize, I don't know the technical terms very well for these things, but you can see that they meet in the middle, and you want it to be nice and secure and the knots nice and tight. So some macrame cord will not tie as nice as others, so if you have any troubles, maybe try a different kind of string. So then here I take the edge cord again and do another row with the diagonal half hitch knot. Again, the same meeting in the middle. So you can see here, this is the final knot. It looks like a nice little edge. It doesn't look like it's not secure, so you want to make sure that yours is nice and tight and secure. And then you're going to take the smallest, shortest string and cut all of the strings to the same length, especially if yours is a little bit more difficult to fray. Mine is, so I just like to have less to fray at the end. I have this little tool here I just use to loosen up the ends. Some macrame cord is really easy to fray. This took me a while, so I didn't film all of it. I'm just going to show you guys the finished product, but you kind of get the idea. So you can see here that the cord did lengthen quite a bit when you frayed it, so once it is all done you can trim it to the length that you want. I did quite a bit shorter. You can keep them longer. It's totally up to you and what you like. Alright, then for the string that I used to tie it to be able to put on the tree, I just used thin twine, and I did end up putting a little bit of hot glue on the back just to secure it because I did notice that they were falling off. And then I cut it in a diagonal line on the bottom just to make it nice and straight and even. And then it is ready to go onto your tree. And here I have my bead garland. I used the same twine, and I put a little bit of beeswax on the end just to stop it from fraying, and just put the beads on. And the beads you can find at Michael's or online on Amazon. So hope this gave you guys some tips. You can see at the very end there that it's a little bit harder from the beeswax. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please share if you enjoyed and let me know if you end up making some for yourself.